Chaotic moments on paternity court.
You were going to church every Sunday and you end up sleeping with your husband's friend?
Told you, can I Millie Rock?
No, you can't. You know why? Because you have another child with her, so you're not gonna clown him.
Shaky trust could be a real marriage killer, as you see in this case. The family was in jeopardy of being torn apart. Ms. Cleveland stepped up in the court to prove the paternity of her son. Meanwhile, the defendant claimed that his wife was an unfaithful and sore liar, and he had concrete evidence to doubt the paternity of baby Hunter.
Miss Cleveland, you say your 18-month marriage is in jeopardy because your husband denies he's your son Hunter's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have good reason to doubt Hunter is yours, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
On with the trial, their happy family took a wishy-washy turn when doubts intervened in their marriage during the procession, and this made the man treat the baby differently. But sir, what was the mistake of a little baby in all this mess?
We argue on the daily. I see him treating our son differently than he does his daughter, and it bothers me inside.
I try not to treat him any differently. I try to treat him like he's mine. It's a little hard sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, Your Honor. I mean, there's that thought there that he is not mine, and that makes a person really emotionally upset. There are times that I'm holding him and I look at him and...
So the paternity doubt has permeated the fabric of their marriage terribly because his wife had cheated on him multiple times. He had caught her messing with other dudes. However, baby mama seemed comfortable with all the claims like this.
Yes, Your Honor, it does. I mean, like she said, I feel like I'm living a lie, Your Honor. You know, I've been lied to and cheated on, you know.
Your Honor, I've never cheated on him.
Oh.
I left him before I ever did anything with any other man.
Okay, so the text and everything behind my back isn't cheating. I consider that cheating. Sexy messages like, I miss you, I love you.
Oh my! Even though the woman confessed to engaging in sexual activity with another man, she yet stated that she had never cheated on her husband. This triggered Judge Lake, so she corrected the mommy like this.
My wife's a cheater. I don't know if this little guy is mine or not.
I didn't cheat on him.
Who are you texting?
He was an old friend of mine from school.
But isn't that cheating of some form? Isn't that
it
at least
It is,
emotional
John.
cheating?
I washed my hands with the whole situation. I was ready for a divorce, and he wants to be husband of the world, you know? He wanted to be a perfect husband.
Further, the potential dad claimed that mommy kept everything secret until the baby was born. And right after the birth, she dropped the bomb of another possibility on him. Oh geez, that's emotional damage, cause she took advantage of him.
There's a possibility he wouldn't have been mine.
Did you go to the birth?
Yes, ma'am. I was there right after he came out. I was there beside him while they were cleaning him off. I was the first person to hold him. I was the first person to get to take him to his mother. I mean, it was a very joyous time in my life. I didn't leave his side for 2, almost 3 hours.
Wow, this woman's got some nerve. Mr. Cleveland contended that while they were having fun with the baby, the mommy decided to spoil everything by puking the truth regarding her sexual relationship with her hubby's friend.
We were sitting at the house playing with Hunter. It just kind of came out. She looked at me and she said, Adam, there's something I have to tell you. And I said, what is it? And she said, I slept with one of your friends around the time of conception and there's a chance that he's not yours. I want you to know that, and I think we may need to get a paternity test.
Miss Cleveland disclosed to gain the love and attention that her husband was not giving her, she brought another man into the picture. She said that she accepted his friend just for a better lifestyle. That's so mean.
I was involved in church every Sunday. I wasn't out running the streets like I was with my husband. At the time, I was doing something with myself.
You were going to church every Sunday and you end up sleeping with your husband's friend?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's not true.
I was at a down and out point in my life, and I was in a financial crisis, and she liked the fact that he had more money.
Nevertheless, the wife asserted that the ongoing bickering with her husband made her look back into her past and allowed the man to come to her present. But the man tapped into the messages on her phone while she was sleeping.
From the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep, and he was at work, I had gotten a message from this guy that I'd been friends with since 7th grade, talking about how beautiful I was, just saying all the right things to me, just made me feel wonderful about myself. I made the mistake of going to see him. When we were sitting there talking, it just happened. We kissed, and I felt horrible about it. I felt like a gross person inside. I got in my car and I left.
Finally, to clear up this awful situation, Judge Lake decided to read the lie detector test results. So let's watch how the results turned out to be. Did they bring more turmoil Or did they bring some sort of relief for the daddy?
If you had sexual intercourse with the man you admitted kissing recently, you said no. The lie detector determined that was the truth.
It was evident that Miss Cleveland's deceiving had brought this couple to a vulnerable point and made the poor man's life miserable. And the only way they could move forward with this paternity havoc was to disclose whatever the DNA envelope was holding. So, let's get those results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Cleveland,
Yes, sir.
you are not the father.
Care and love is taken too far this time. Mr. Jones and his mother offered their house as a shelter to the defendant and her 6 kids. But instead of being grateful, she caused them more trouble by pinning her new baby on them. Fed up with all the drama, his response was denial, and he also sued her for $1,500 for housing and childcare expenses.
You and your mother are co-plaintiffs who have brought the defendant, Ms. Mylan, to court to prove her 3-month-old son, Quanil Jr., is not your biological child.
Regarding their disbelief, Ms. Jones shared that she had contacted the court for a test after 3 days of the baby's birth because she saw her son's emotions at the hospital and didn't want him to go through a heartbreak. So to understand the reaction, the judge asked about their relationship.
I noticed him. She was like, this Mr. Jones, he lived next door. We started, just on a friendly note, hey, how you doing? We'll sit down, we'll talk, laugh, joke. I go back in, tend to my kids. Eventually he started I could tell it was a little more flirting going on. Like he'd be like, why don't you come watch a movie sometime? Or,
Casual relationships are fine, it happens. But sleeping with 2 men at the same time is already an alarming situation. Upon this, Mr. Jones shared that he tried to make it exclusive, but she chose her ex over him. Then, about pregnancy, Miss Mylan said that the plaintiff claimed that he couldn't become a father, and baby daddy had to explain himself.
Because I used to play sports in school or whatever, so I had have a full body physical, and they told me that I wasn't able to have kids.
So during a physical, they told you would unable to have children.
Yes, ma'am.
So the doubt arrives here. Moreover, her claim of $1,500 is right. After all, they provided for Miss Mylan and her kids. Now it's time to pay them back. Investigating their relationships, it was found out that while she was living in their house, Mr. Jones had started dating his ex. And with this information, the whole dynamic of relationships turned into confusion.
Like you said, I'm young. It's a big age difference. I started getting I got a little stressed out. You know what I'm saying? It's 6 kids. I got frustrated. I ain't gonna lie. It started to get to me.
I have to go to work. So I'm calling him. I'm calling him. I'm like, where are you? Where are you? You know I have to go to work. And he was like, he wasn't answering at first. And I was like getting mad.
Why did you invite her to your house when you couldn't handle the stress? Then, talking about the pregnancy, Mr. Jones said that, along with Miss Mylan's ex, he was aware of his possibility as well. Upon this, Mama Jones shared the advice she gave them to stop future kids.
When I found out she stopped taking the birth control, the first thing I done was I gave my son some condoms because she has 6 kids already and I know she's fertile.
Did you use them, Mr. Jones?
No.
No, I want to be there. I don't want to miss nothing. I want to be able to go back and tell these stories and say I was there doing this, doing that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
When he was being born.
Both mother and son have been very responsible and caring towards Miss Mylan and her kids. Now, she shouldn't trap them in paternity like this. Next, Mr. Jones revealed that he didn't sign the birth certificate because of the doubt, and his mother agreed to his decision.
When I say he cried, he literally broke down at this hospital. He literally cried and broke down because he was gonna be devastated, and I felt his pain. I mean, I could literally feel his pain. That's why I contacted the court to help us, because I wanted him to be sure.
And when you say he isn't sure,
my brother passed in July the 16th of last year.
Well, that was a smart move. He doesn't have to pay child support for 18 years. But still, the mama and son were caring enough to spend so much money on Miss Mylan's kids. Now, the judge only asked the co-plaintiffs about their hopes for today, and they both were still positive for the future.
I pray.
We've been taking care of this child since the day he came out, Joe.
I love him.
And I will continue to do that. He's saying, Mama, this is my baby. And that means me as a grandmother, I'm supposed to step up and take up where he's falls short.
I feel like me and her kids had a relationship before I even met her. So they used to watch me play ball. I used to teach them how to play ball and stuff like this. So
the mama and son played their part very well in Miss Mylan and her kid's life. But still, it can't hide the fact that there's doubt around the baby's paternity. and it was important to know the truth so that Mr. Jones and his mother could have peace in their lives, and the baby could have his real parents in his life.
You are not the father. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
I'm sorry. Why you stand?
The defendant's 1-month-old daughter was strongly denied by Mr. Harrington because he claimed that his sexual relationship with Miss Day ended before she became pregnant, and his uncertainty was very valid. So to find out the real father, the DNA test was our only solution.
You say your sexual relationship with the defendant ended before she got pregnant. You say you would never attempt to pin a baby on a man without being sure he is the father. You believe the DNA results will put an end to all of the rumors.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Harrington testified that she was a very promiscuous person, and the only reason she pinned her baby on him was because he was a good father to her other children, and just listening to this, the defendant had a bold comeback comment to shut him up.
There's no other possibilities. I have not been messing around with anybody else throughout the time that we were messing around.
So you are 100% positive Mr. Harrington is your child's biological father.
Considering it just started, that was a very bold claim. Even I had difficulty processing it. Then, about the conceiving period, Miss Day said that she broke up with him in September. But one day, due to a medical issue with their other child, something happened in the hospital.
So she was in and out of the hospital. When we was in the hospital, we did it. I really do believe that's the day that I
At the hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
yes,
we did it at the
ma'am.
hospital. I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't in November. When
I also didn't get pregnant in November neither.
Okay.
I didn't conceive in November.
I never understood how people managed to do this kind of stuff in the hospital. Next, the plaintiff said that he didn't find out about the pregnancy from her, but surprisingly, an anonymous texter told him the news, which created doubt for him.
How your baby mama pregnant and her and your sister hiding it from you? It might be guy number 1 baby though. So you just an anonymous tipper, huh? You questioned this at
on the way
first.
back from work.
Can't tell you who I am. She won't tell me nothing else. And she was blanking guy number 2. That's how you found out she was pregnant. Never mind guy number 1 and guy number 2.
Yeah.
That's actually a scary way to find out about your baby. And sure, it's gonna create suspicion in everyone's mind. Then, Mr. Harrington shared that his sister confirmed this information, and when he tried calling Miss Day, she didn't pick up his call. And upon this, the plaintiff quickly defended herself.
On a regular basis, I don't answer the call.
She do ignore my call.
For him to say that I was trying to hide, I didn't pick up the phone or
But you
something
never told
like
me
that.
you was pregnant though.
I did tell you I was
didn't.
pregnant.
I found out in January.
I found out in January too. That's
No, you
when I
didn't.
went to go. When I found out that I was pregnant.
So all
It
them missed
was
periods and
in-
you.
There's a lot of confusion about the dates, and it seems hard to get to the bottom of it. Then, Miss Day testified that she dated other guys, but it all happened before pregnancy. And asking about his responsibilities, the plaintiff was proud to be present during birth.
I was saying to myself, okay, if I am a possible father, I don't want to have missed the birth. So I was keeping it real with myself.
I knew that he was gonna always be there.
I am gonna always be there for my child, but you can't be pinning, you know what I'm saying? You trying to pin this child on me?
So you showed up for the birth?
No.
You didn't sign a birth certificate, but you wanted to give her your last name?
It's always sad to see fathers being present in the hospital for birth, but later deny the kid so easily. Then, the defendant's witness was brought in, and she boldly exposed Mr. Harrington, saying that he denied the baby to save his current relationship.
He don't want to go home to his mama because he hopped from.
Well, you still there.
Oh, that's what I
You irrelevant. Irrelevant.
But
She don't even know
She
nothing
don't know.
that's
You
going on.
believe this is an entire concocted story because he doesn't want to break up with his now girlfriend.
Because he don't have no job. When he get with a girl, he moves in with the girl.
Now that could be a reason he denied the baby, because he's scared of his girlfriend. But Mr. Harrington was not ready to lose, as he brought up the conception calendar to prove his claim. And it was interesting, because it did point out that his doubts were right.
What Mr. Harrington says is true in the sense that if the due date was the 3rd, your conception date window would be around that 2nd week of November.
When you look at stuff like that, they don't put up in there that you're actually pregnant for 40 weeks. They don't calculate like that.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Both parties were crazily fighting over their testimonies, calling each other liars. But if they had been responsible, they wouldn't be standing here. And now, to bring out the real father, the judge had to open the envelope to close the case.
You are not the father.
What? Told you, bro.
Are you serious?
Told you, can I Millie Rock?
No, you can't.
Sorry, my bad.
No, you can't. You know why?
This ain't
Because you
mine.
have another child with her, so you're not gonna clown in here.
Okay.
Because that's acting a fool, and that's what I don't do.
What would you do if your normal scrolling led you to your wife's sex tape? When his wife's adultery was discovered, Mr. Brown found himself before Judge Lake's court. He intended to show that another man was the biological father of his spouse's child with his broken trust. Let's see how they came to the brink of falling apart.
You testify that his paternity denial is tearing you apart. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
One day, the girls, they like snatching her phone. They grabbed her phone before they came against the video. I grabbed it.
So, it was apparent that this paternity mix had disrupted their marriage, as the mommy could not hold back her tears. It turned out that the plaintiff also did not even know about her baby's paternity, but she was praying for a miracle to happen. Or the defendant claimed that the baby's appearance was evidence of his support.
I just hope that he's the father of Amira Brown.
That you really don't know, but you truly hope.
Yes.
More and more every day, I see Amira's face and his face, and it bothers me a lot.
Oh gosh, I don't understand who on earth wrecks their own house like this. Further, it slipped out that while going through his wife's phone, Mr. Brown caught a blue video. Ugh, why would someone leave shady proof of adultery on their phone?
They like snatching her phone, so they grabbed her phone before they came against the video. I grabbed it and it pressed play, and I seen the beginning of the video, and I didn't see what I liked, so I just disclosed it. I didn't watch the whole video.
Because you knew it was something
Yeah,
inappropriate.
it didn't look right. It didn't look right. It looked like a video, so.
Miss McKinney admitted the claims and stated that their on and off again marriage status made her step out of the marriage not only for one time, yet she blamed the man in all of this mess. No ma'am, put aside your sham show.
At the time, me and Mr. Brown was off and on. I met him on a dating website. We started talking online, and then I finally met him in person, and he came to my house.
So how often were you sexually active with this man?
10 times.
However, Judge Lake summoned the other potential father. Mr. Fowler asserted that he hit the plaintiff on the dating site, but when they came along, he met her husband as well. Still, she bamboozled him about her marriage. It was hilarious that he didn't even know her last name.
We was talking on the dating site, and the day I met her, Mr. Brown was present, but they wasn't together. But I seen them face to face.
The day you met her in person?
Yes.
He was there.
Yes. She said that she just got out of a relationship and that they was done.
All right.
Further, it was disclosed that baby mama informed both men about her pregnancy, and the downer was that baby Amira's paternity was shady, as the woman was sleeping with both men at the same time. So, you can never know for sure when things like this happen.
Me and Miss McKinney met up, and she told me she was pregnant in June of 2017.
What did she tell you exactly?
That she's pregnant and she's ready to give birth.
So who did she say the father was?
She didn't tell me
I
nothing.
said it was complicated.
I believe it was complicated because, like I said,
I was back and forth with him and him.
that sex
back and
tape
forth.
was April 9th, and Amira was born April 9th.
It was revealed that Mr. Brown was present at the birth, yet there was no name on the baby's birth certificate. Miss McKinney alleged that she did not let her husband sign the birth certificate because she wanted to save him. Huh? Save him from what, Missy? You've already drowned him with your swindling nature.
I get public assistance, they're gonna try to hit him with child support.
But you all were legally married. Be on the hook for child support if you're legally married.
I didn't want him to sign a birth certificate.
It is complicated.
The defendant asserted that he could not accept the baby girl due to her appearance. Even people on social media gave them red flags about the baby's paternity. Felt like Daddy had prepared a research project for his denial.
When I was born, I was pale. But wait, look at her lip. Why does her lip look so fat? That's not my lip. My lip does not look like that. Oh, no, it does not. I put it in my head. I'm like, wait, okay. So, and my family was saying that she looks like me because my deceased father that passed away, they said that Amira has my dad.
Despite the deceiving facts, it turned out that Mr. Fowler got out the window of conception, and the plaintiff alleged that in her heart, she believed that her husband was the father. This sounded fishy to Judge Lake, so she hopped in like this.
Mario Brown's the father of Amira.
So why did you tell Mr. Fowler you were pregnant at all? If this had
I told both of them
ended-
I was pregnant, but he didn't know I was pregnant before he found.
Well, why? I mean, if it's over with him and it's done, if you hadn't been with him for an entire year, he's out of the picture. Why tell him you're pregnant?
I have no clue.
Stepping out of the marriage to find the love and affection you desire is not a fair move. It was evident that Miss McKinney's promiscuity had ultimately led these people into this paternity run, and the last call to resolve this mess was to declare results. So, let's get to them.
You are not the father. McKinney, are you okay? Jerome, help her. Jerome, help her.